Hey, Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Civil War II, issue number 4. The trial of the century has concluded, and this could be the very thing to push the superhero community in the Marvel Universe to all-out war. What'll happen next? Let's jump on in and find out together, shall we? Alright then, so as we join the comic, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, has the very uncomfortable task of having to relay the news of Bruce Banner's death to his cousin, Jen, the She-Hulk, who has just recently come out of her coma. Understandably, she does not take the news well. In fact, she got so angry for a second I thought she was going to turn into the Raging Hulk that killed everybody, but no, that's not the case. What of the killer, Clint Barton Hawkeye? Well, as we find out, the court found him not guilty. Yeah, that's right, he walked completely free. In an interesting twist, however, this case has actually raised Hawkeye's profile like never before. He's being hailed as a hero in the places that the Hulk would usually destroy during his rampages. Tony Stark is understandably taking this all very hard. In fact, it looks like he's about to crack under all the pressure. He does, however, attempt to make one last honest-to-goodness try at averting another superhero war. You see, he's finally cracked the code on Ulysses' brain and his powers. You see, the way it works is that Ulysses actually absorbs energy from all over the place. He then redirects that energy outwards as a vision, and now, as we've seen before, for Ulysses, this isn't, just so much seeing a vision as it is actually him feeling like he's there when these events take place. And Tony says that therein lies the trouble, because it is he himself being there, the one filtering all the images that are going through his mind. It could be very easy for those images to become corrupt. Whether intentionally or not, using Ulysses' powers in the way that Carol and her team have been doing so far is just straight up and down profiling, and that's wrong. Worse still, the boy seems to be getting stronger with training, and he's actually being able now to bring other people into his visions. Iron Man begins to fear that this could make the visions even more inaccurate, and because of that, he's actually able to sway quite a few members of the superhero community over to his side. Of course, the only person Iron Man is unable to sway in any meaningful way is Captain Marvel herself, who continues to challenge Tony every step of the way, wanting Beast to conduct his own scientific research into the matter. So I admittedly have not read a lot of Captain Marvel books. It's been on my list, I promise. I just haven't had the time yet, and I know a lot of people are starting to, get really frustrated with how Carol is being portrayed in this book. I mean, similar stuff happened with Tony Stark during the original Civil War, but at least he had the good sense to just straight up and down be a villain by the end with a superpowered Guantanamo Bay and hiring supervillains to hunt his old friends. For Carol, though, the situation we see is a lot more complicated. She seems to be doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results even when people around her get hurt or even killed. In fact, we actually see Ulysses' vision get one completely wrong. Carol and the Ultimates are sent in to apprehend a woman they believe to be a sleeper agent for Hydra inside America's financial institutions, only she seems to be clean. But Captain Marvel just refuses to admit defeat, refuses to admit that she was wrong, and demands that S.H.I.E.L.D. and Maria Hill look into this woman as hard as possible. Why is she doing all this? Well, I can only offer up my own reading of the situation, but the way I feel, and I've definitely discussed enough with people on this that I feel it's a good enough theory, Carol is doing all this because she feels she has to, because it's the only way to justify all the bloodshed that's already happened. It's the only way to justify why Rhodes, the man she loved, died. If she gives up now and admits that she's wrong, then War Machine died for no reason. Again, not an expert on Captain Marvel, but that's just, how it seems to me right now. This situation, though, with the wrongly accused woman turns out to be the spark that fully ignites the superhero Civil War. Iron Man and his people launch a full-scale assault of the Ultimates' base of operations at Triskelion, and oh, look at some things here that don't match up. Luke Cage is on Tony's team, even though if you were reading the Power Man and Iron Fist book, Luke and Danny decided to stay out of the war. Oops, guess Bendis didn't read that. Also, the young all-new X-Men are clearly backing Tony, while the older extraordinary X-Men are backing Carol, the uncanny X-Men led by Magneto being nowhere to be seen. Carol's team is of course greatly outnumbered and outmatched. However, as the comic ends, though, she plays her ace in the hole, that being the Guardians of the Galaxy who are on her team. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Why are the space outlaws on the side of the Earth Authority figure? And furthermore to that, were not both Captain Marvel and Iron Man both members of the Guardians of the Galaxy for a little bit? And also, didn't Bendis write those runs? Civil War II #4 was a frustrating issue in a lot of ways. And that's me talking. I can only imagine how frustrated you are if you're a Carol Danvers fan, as I can only imagine they're writing her way out of character. In this issue especially, we're hit with the moment of Carol more or less knowing that she's wrong but refusing to give up and quit. That's a crappy situation for a character you like to be in, because essentially anything bad that happens after this is really on her. I mean, despite all the crap he got up to in the original Civil War, at least Tony Stark continued to trumpet the no, I'm right, you'll all see I'm right when this is over, and I had your best intentions in mind. Transversely, poor Captain Marvel is just coming off as really selfish in this. She doesn't really care about the world as a whole, she just cares about her own feelings and her own ego, and that's not nice. I know there's still technically a lot of story left to go, but I know we're already running into a lot of Bendisisms right here. You know, a bunch of the tie-ins and a bunch of the characters don't line up to how they are in other books. There's also a lot of loose threadage going on right now. Hey, what happened to Hawkeye? I don't know, you'll have to pick up his new book and see what happens. And yet, despite all of that, I didn't hate reading the book. I was frustrated, but you know, still, I didn't not enjoy myself. The art continues to be great, and there's some amazing Iron Man dialogue in here, and that's really saying something considering that Bendis is writing the main Iron Man book as well. Overall, though, I would give this one a 7. Maybe that's generous, but it's what I give it.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and while you're here, why not check out another video I have on offer? Or maybe if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you want to like or subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of more videos just like this one, then please by all means check out the Cape Joel Patreon. A little bit goes a very long way, and I will see you all next time.